disheartening people or discouraging people, we must encourage what? Them. As long as they are not defiling the will of God. Because spiritual courage means to trust in God, you know. It also means to accept your weaknesses and also accept God's will for your life. That's what it means to have spiritual courage. In Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13, he says, hear the whole conclusion, the whole of the matter. The whole duty of men is to fear God and keep his what? Command. We have various kinds of courage. As I said last week, physical courage, emotional courage, social courage, intellectual courage, emotional courage. But all of these are limited, church, because they will not last. But when you have spiritual courage, it will help you now and also in the life to come. And the first thing that David pointed out was to Israel is that in verse 26, for who is this, the latter part of verse 26 in chapter 17, for who is this uncircumcised Philistine? Yes, Brother Frank. Yes. Yes. It is said that Goliath was more than 9 feet tall. Right? I'm picturing something like a basketball hoop. Somebody like Shaquille O'Neal, and I see some tall guys playing basketball. Tall, you know, he was, I'm just saying that these guys are tall, but Goliath was taller than these guys. Huge. It is said that his armor, his total armor, weighs something like 337 and a half pounds. I mean, have you ever lifted up something 50 pounds? And you know, when we used to squat, and you attempt to lift up 100 pounds, put on your shoulder, Brother Frank, to squat, that weight is so heavy. Somebody have to help you. But just picture this man now, wearing an armor, or his total armor, 337 and a half pounds. Can you imagine that? And when they saw all of this, they were fearful. Maybe if Brother Medley was there, Brother Medley would be fearful too. Because what kind of giant this? I am not capable of fighting this giant. But thank God that David didn't take that approach. David tried. He took action. So when we are faced with our situation as Christians, we must try. We must take action. We must not just allow things to go by. Another thing we learn is that we should trust. Because when you're working with people, you have to trust those who you are working with. And when you trust those who you are working with, it means that you rely on the actions of other people. You have to follow. You have to give up control. And when you follow, when you give up control, when you rely on the action of other, you are at risk because you can be armed. That's what we learn in the working world. And when you work, when you are told that you have to work with people, you have to learn to trust those who you work with. You have to have an open mind and the willingness to cooperate. And David had an open mind. David had the willingness to cooperate, because when David went to Saul and said, "Listen, I will fight Goliath," the first thing Saul leaves Xerxes to lure him so that he could get a better opportunity to kill him. But what he said in his mind is that my arm was too heavy. What he did, he knelt down and he got rid of the extra weight.